Hello, everyone. The current shift of court rulings, both in the conservative red states and in the right-wing Supreme Court, have made me review some of my basic U.S. history, and I'd like to share an important part of our American legacy with all of you. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees freedom of religion, prohibits the government from establishing a state religion, and does not allow favoring one religion over any other. While not explicitly stated, the amendment created the long-established separation of church and state. The amendment was adopted in 1791, along with 9 other amendments that make up the Bill of Rights, a written document protecting civil liberties under U.S. law. The meaning of the First Amendment has been the subject of continuing interpretation and dispute over the years. The Establishment Clause, therefore, is the clause in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution that prohibits the establishment of any religion by Congress. It erects a solid wall of separation between church and state. It forbids the favoring by the state of one religion over the other. It prevents the passage of any law that gives preference to or forces belief in any one religion. Our third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, famously said that the Establishment Clause should represent, quote, a wall of separation between church and state. Again, the provision prevents the government from establishing a state religion and prohibits it from favoring one faith over another. Jefferson wanted a strict separation of church and state, but he fully expected a vibrant public religion on the other non-governmental side of that wall. Separation of church and state is cemented into the Bill of Rights. It is in the United States Constitution. It is baked into our founding documents and our system of government. Jefferson wrote, "I contemplated with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state." An example of separation of church and state would be public schools forbidding teachers from forcing their students to say morning prayers, or banning of books because those books don't agree with one's religion. This practice was forbidden by the Supreme Court in 1962. How and why that clear distinction has changed in the present United States, you must decide for yourselves. How good or destructive is that for the majority of us, we the people of the United States? That is absolutely our right to determine. The conservative majority of the U.S. Supreme Court has chipped away at the wall separating church and state in a series of new rulings, eroding American legal traditions intended to prevent government officials from promoting any particular faith. Read The History of the Separation of Church and State in the U.S. by Daniel Moskowitz to help you decide for yourself whether or not the United States Supreme Court has handed down decisions that violate the First Amendment. And please, in every upcoming and national election, make new, enlightened decisions about who best represents your own vision of what the Establishment Clause, the absolute separation between church and state, really means. Onward.